Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Testing.
Okay.
Let me pee.
Is my level all right? Do I sound quiet?
You sound good.
Sound good, homie.
All right.
Everybody sounds good.
All right.
Let me get this ready. Review the network situation. And here we go.
This is the ChristianPIG Podcast Network. On air.
ChristianPIG Podcast Network.
Yeah, Tyler, talk it out. Talk it out. Justin, talk it out. Bruce, talk it out. Yeah. Now talk it out. Now talk it out. Now talk it out. Now talk it out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very third episode of the Talk It Out Podcast, Season 1. Woo! We're glad you're here. My name is Tyler, coming to you live from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, this is Bruce. I'm in the Seattle area. I think I'm live. Could be recording. I don't know.
This is Justin from basically right down the street from Bruce, from the Seattle area, home of the Man Bun, ladies and gentlemen.
Rock on. And this is Josh, straight up from the Midwest, representing Des Moines, Iowa. And we have wannabe hipsters. So we got that.
Bruce, we own hipsters, don't we?
I think we definitely have carte blanche on a hipster.
You do have the carte blanche on the hipster, but we have the whatever is the byproduct of that.
More. Seattle has the most hipsters per capita, the highest suicide rate per capita, and the lowest number of people with organized religion or associated with
interesting
per capita. Also, so I mean, I don't know if there's any correlation.
Is that coincidence? I think not.
Do you?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
Do you have to put hipster on your driver's license? Is that how that works?
Yeah, you definitely have to around here.
Registered
hipster.
Registered for everything. Today's episode of Talk It Out Podcast, we've got some super exciting things we're going to be talking about in our rounded out section. That's where we go around in a circle or a square or however you see it when you're listening to the audio version, if you're watching us on Blab Live. And you might be wondering, what the heck is the Talk It Out Podcast? If you're just joining us for the first time, Talk It Out Podcast is a live and interactive podcast. But if you can't join us live, guess what? It's still just as good on the recording.
Oh, yeah.
So we sit here and we talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about.
I think it might be better. Yeah.
And it's awesome. I mean, we have a good time. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about current events, such as the passing of the greatest Muhammad Ali, which is tragic. Facebook, is it productive or not productive? We've seen a lot of articles on both. And, of course, we're going to let our sports aficionados, Mr. Justin Hartford and Mr. Bruce over here, and they're going to be talking about the NBA Finals. Dun, dun, dun. And we might have some other funny stories to talk about. But we're going to just dive right in with our first segment of the show. It's the Rounded Out.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
So have you guys ever noticed that there's always scientists that are making wild accusations on the internet? You know, every article says something different from different scientists and things like that. You guys notice that?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, one of the most interesting ones today was part of our first topic, and that is about Facebook. Everybody loves Facebook. Do you guys love Facebook? I love Facebook.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
I'm all over Facebook.
I'm down with it.
I'm liking
Facebook
it.
is cool. Yeah, I mean, I used to not like Facebook. You know, back when MySpace was super popular and Facebook had just came out, and I was like, I am never going to Facebook, man. No matter what, I'm never going to Facebook. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I don't really, because I was in college when it came out, and I was on it right away.
So you were a what do they call, pioneer?
Yeah, in the early days.
Forerunner.
Yeah.
Back when it was the Facebook.
Yeah,
right.
Back when it was college only. And, yeah.
Ah.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
It was only colleges,
deep.
and you had to when you were stoked because when you got to college, you could be on Facebook. That was like the reason.
My point to this story in the rounded out section is we're going to be talking about, does Facebook cut your productivity at work, or does it help your productivity at work?
Ooh.
I've seen about 50 articles pop up in the last couple of weeks here. We've been gone doing a whole bunch of different stuff, which we'll get to in just a second before we start this. But Facebook has just been, it's been everywhere lately. And I feel like Facebook video, Facebook Live, all that kind of stuff has been creating a lot of opportunities for people in work. So we'll talk about that more in our rounded out section. But first, before we get to that, even though we've already done the segment, this was poor planning on my part, guys. Sorry about that. We want to go around and see what you guys have been doing this past week. Mr. Bruce, what's been up?
Man, since we've last met, which has been a little while, working hard, man. And I've actually started a new, I think I may have talked about it last time, but it's been really working for me. Trying to lose some weight, and the calories in, calories out method is a tried and true method by most people that I've found. It's the most sustainable. And, I've lost about 13, 15 pounds, depending on the day already in less than a month, which is kind of a lot in a month, but I have a lot to lose. And so I'm stoked about it. Some days are harder than others, but I'm trying to do this intermittent fasting thing where I eat in the evening, the last meal is 7 o'clock or so. And then I don't eat again until 11 o'clock the next day. So all that time when you're sleeping and working out or whatever you're doing in the morning, you're burning fat stores instead of whatever you just ate, hopefully. So try and get somewhere between a 12 and 16 hour fast going. And it's working really well. So that's basically my life has just been all about counting calories, trying to get the protein in. And then, trying to work that around my daily life. So that's been me.
Right on.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
man.
it's
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Nice to see progress.
Sweet. That's sweet. Mr. Josh, what have you been up to, man, the past couple of weeks?
Oh, dude, the past couple weeks have been insane. Absolutely nuts. Lots of family stuff going on, just busyness with life. We've got 5 kids here at our place, so things are nuts. We moved, maybe a month ago now, almost a month ago, and still trying to get things put together at the house and all that good stuff. But work's been crazy. It's just been go, 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 and it's finally starting to settle down. So things are feeling good right now. I'm liking it.
Right on.
Awesome. Justin, what's up, dude?
I went just 2 weekends ago. I went to the best place on earth, otherwise known as Missoula, Montana. Just the greatest. That's a great soundbite, but I truly do love Missoula. I just love being there. I have a lot of friends there. I can't get enough. So I'm as happy as can be.
How long of a flight was that? Was that because that sounds like
it was actually
an
8-hour drive. So
Here, yeah.
In Budapest? Where's that? Missoula? Where is that? Anyways, no, that's awesome, dude. So you went back to your hometown. You guys had fun?
Yeah, we had a really good time. Saw some friends. I actually left maybe half of our kitchen stuff at our old place. So I had a friend who grabbed it after we moved, and he held on to it for the last year and a half. So
Dang,
to get that stuff back.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. What did I do the past week? Work, and more work. If you're just listening, we all have exciting jobs, and my job is traveling. I am a flight attendant for a major airline right now. So I've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up that I'm not allowed to talk about because I signed some confidentiality agreements and things like that with my company. But there's a lot of exciting things coming up with I'm switching positions in my job. So I'll still be a flight attendant, but I'm doing other stuff. So that's exciting. So I've been working on that
from the world. You have to hide promotions from the world.
I do.
That's interesting.
So, hey, we got live in the chat room. We got our good friend Micah. He is a good friend from one of our co-favorite podcasts, the Airline Pilot Guy Show. If you ever heard of it, you can go check it out. It's a fantastic podcast. Micah, he's got the most amazing radio voice. I kid you not, this guy, he needs to be on radio for the rest of his life. Anyways, he's really cool. He's hanging out in the chat room with us. If you've never joined us here before on the Talk It Out podcast, we are live and interactive. You can come hang out in the chat room and discuss these current event topics with us. So that's been about it for my week. Just a lot of work in. Then also, I am also joining the bandwagon like Bruce and trying to cut down on the carbs and shed a few pounds for the summer bod so we can go lay it out on the beach and do all that kind of fun stuff. So we're really excited about it. So after my poor segment planning, we're going to try this again and start our round it out segment. Here we go.
For real this time. For real this time.
Round it out. Round it out segment. We go around in a circle square, like I said before, and we talk about the current events. We were discussing Facebook before. Mr. Bruce, is Facebook productive at work or is it not? I don't know. Both doctors are saying, the internet doctors are going crazy. They're all saying that it is.
I think
some are saying that it's not.
It's hard to say because so many people like make a living on Facebook with ads and things of that nature. So if people that promote it, I'm not taking their side or the other side, but I'm saying people that promote it or have a vested interest. But I would say that it definitely helps to like whatever you do to take a break from what you're doing to refresh yourself and go back, if that be Facebook or not. And I say it could be beneficial. Yeah.
Awesome. What I forgot to mention again, man, I am just dropping the ball today. Maybe somebody else should be the host. I forgot to mention that we only have 30 seconds to discuss these topics. That's the catch here. You did it in under 30 seconds. Congratulations. We're going to start another 30 seconds. Mr. Josh, Facebook at work. What the heck do you think about that? Go ahead.
Here's the deal. It's just like anything at work. If it's something that they allow you to do at work, you got to limit yourself to your time, man. I mean, like for me, Facebook could be a really dangerous thing because I get addicted to it pretty easily. So for me, it's probably not the greatest, but for other people who have some self-control, it could be beneficial. But I think it's case by case basis.
Definitely. 20 seconds. Nice job, Mr. Justin. Facebook, what's up? Productive or not? You tell me.
I just saw an article. I could see it going a few different ways, though. I could see that, if an employer has a strict no Facebook policy, I could see that being one of those things where, you're really bogged down. You really just want to look away from the work. You can't. So I could see that, and if you leave it open for them, maybe, it might be one of those things where if it's not such a temptation, if you can just hop on it, then you're not thinking about it as much. I can go both ways. I would say overall probably less productive because it can be distracting. But yeah, it depends who you are.
30 seconds on the dot. Nice job. We're going to move on to our next topic. The greatest, the man, the myth, the legend, Muhammad Ali passed away this past week. Yeah, pretty sad. We're going to have the links to all these articles in the show notes. There's really not much to say other than, he was just fantastic. But I'd like to hear y'all's perspective. How did Muhammad Ali affect your life growing up? Mr. Bruce, go ahead.
I'm going to be honest, man. I knew he didn't actually die, but like theoretically died. I thought he died in the 90s. So this wasn't like, it wasn't like news to me.
Too soon.
But honestly, I think he was a great fighter and whatnot. But he didn't really affect my life because I'm not a boxing guy, and he was way before my time. So it's sad, but then again, he had Parkinson's, so it's kind of a relief.
Mm-hmm.
Man, 21 seconds on that one, Mr. Josh. You got 30 seconds. What do you know about Muhammad Ali? How did he affect your life?
Dude, Muhammad Ali taught me to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I wasn't huge into boxing, but I knew who he was. I knew that he had, a lot of power, some footwork that was just crazy. I knew he had some beef with George Foreman that they squashed. I knew he had Parkinson's. He fought that, but he showed some grace and had amazing talent. And I just think that he was an all-around amazing guy. And sad to see him go, but I'm glad to see that he's not in pain and suffering.
30 seconds is up. Nice
Bam.
job, Mr. Justin. How did Muhammad Ali affect your life?
I would say that he affects maybe everyone who has ever played sports for the rest of maybe the history of the earth without even knowing it. Think about how many posters, think about all the phrases, the float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Think about all the things, his character and his legacy, I think, will affect sports forever. So that's where I'm going. The world's lost a lot of good people lately. That legends.
Wow. So we got some people in the chat room here. Our good friend Chris, he's talking about it. He says the Foreman grill was originally Ollie's design, but he stole the idea.
Is that true? Is
No.
that true?
That sounds sounds like a really good Family Guy bit, though.
That is,
Dude, I would have believed it though.
Josh is like,
to see like
Josh is like, seriously?
Yeah.
You could have kept that going. I'd have been like,
Wow.
really? What?
I never would. And he took that to the grave, man. He took that to the grave.
Man,
I guess I have 30.
what a hero!
I guess I have 30 seconds to talk about this Muhammad Ali, man. He's a name. He's a guy. He's a myth. He's a legend. He's somebody that you always knew was there. And I guess I'm too young to talk about Muhammad Ali, but he seemed like a nice guy. He seemed like he was good. I mean, he seemed like he did a lot of good for humanity. He was a devout Muslim. And, yeah, I mean, it seemed like he had some good things going for him. So, yeah, Muhammad Ali, more power to you, buddy. Hope you're doing all right wherever you're at. And, yeah, that was silly. We're going to move on. NBA Finals. This is what we've been waiting for, guys. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about.
You know we've been waiting for this. So, that's right. That's right. Our good friend Micah in the chat room reminded us he dodged the draft. I saw that. I was watching his little tribute special on the news.
Can
Muhammad
nobody
Ali.
catch the greatest?
So did Elvis, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, wow.
Man, right in
I
there,
said
right
it.
in there.
Right.
Said it.
Man, we're gonna let Mr. Justin Hartford, our local sports resident here, talk about the NBA Finals. Why don't you introduce this next rounded up section?
All right. Well,
Here we
as
go,
we sit
NBA
at the
Finals.
time of recording, we have the Golden State Warriors leading the series against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 2-0. And I'm going to be honest, it looks almost like the Cavs don't even want to win. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this. It hasn't even been close. The games have been in Golden State. So there's the home, the home cooking advantage there. But this game 3, I hate to say it, but it is, I would say, and even LeBron agrees with me when he says it's a must win for sure. They're going to be back in Cleveland tomorrow at the time of this recording. So, yeah, I mean, Bruce, have you been keeping up with it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I've only watched one game, but I'm gonna go back on the Elvis thing real quick. He didn't dodge. He did serve. I was mistaken a little bit. He was discharged. So on that, but I thought he dodged at one point. But maybe no, he was discharged. I was thinking of Clinton. Sorry, not Elvis.
Oh, it's always Clinton.
Bill Clinton.
It always ends up being Clinton.
Sorry.
God, why does it always got to be Clinton? I hate Clinton.
But on the basketball thing, let's go back to the basketball thing. Cleveland is not winning a championship. That's it. I mean, that's happening. And I mean, Cleveland, the city, is not winning in any sport except for maybe in UFC. I don't count because I don't even think he trained in Cleveland. So
No, UFC does not count.
so yeah, I'm pretty sure they're destined to lose. But I mean, I just don't think they have it. Like they don't want it. And Curry isn't even playing yet, which is what's amazing to me. Like he's not even really on his the most MVP game level that he's been at the rest of the season, and they're still destroying them. I don't know. Also, like, what is up with gosh, I can't remember his name. The first game the Cavaliers lose. After that game, one of the Cavaliers guys comes back with a Jerry curl. Like the next game, like you don't get like a wild hair up your butt and get a Jerry curl.
I missed that. I wasn't paying attention to that.
No, you have to that takes time. Like you have to go after the game. You had to be like, "Yo, getting a Jerry curl tomorrow. We got to start at 6 a.m." And that's a lot of work. And it's also like you're gonna come out here, you lost.
They're not even trying, man.
You lost, then you come back with the Jerry curl. Right, and I've never had the pleasure of having Jerry curl myself, but I know it takes a lot of time. I know it does. And I mean, would he go to the salon? You got to be getting your head right for the game because I mean, let's think about it. The game starts at like 7:00, right? You probably show up at like 4, I would imagine.
Yeah,
and so you go to. I'm sure you didn't go to bed till like 12, 1 o'clock, whatever. You know what I mean? And between that time, you get a Jerry curl.
Bruce, was this honestly what you were paying attention to, or
I'm
was
saying
this something you like read or something?
He wasn't even watching the game, man. He was just checking out everybody's hair.
I saw that. I didn't see the game, but I got wind of that.
Exactly.
Right? Because I saw
the red carpet.
First game. I saw the first game, and I got wind of that, and that it was like, what? Like, well, you don't come out after losing with a flamboyant piece of yourself. You go to bed, and you wake up. You wake up with tattered hair and a mean look in your eye. You know what I mean? You come back like mad and mean. You don't come back with a Jerry curl.
You gotta shave that shit off.
Yeah, I mean,
Jerry, cool.
No. You don't do anything. You don't shave. You don't even wash your clothes. You just put them on, and you go back out and do it.
You know, maybe he's going. Maybe.
So you're saying you don't come back and be like, "What's up, guys? I'm gonna take you down." That's
no,
what's
you
going
don't.
on. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing today. I'm gonna play some. I'm gonna play some ball. We're gonna play some ball. That's what we're gonna do.
Right.
But they got blew out.
So what are we on right now? We're on game 3
Game
or
3.
what?
Game 3.
So the first two games. Are in Golden State. Yep.
Everybody's trying to say that Golden State is gonna choke on game 3 like they always do, because it's every time they come to game 3 they choke. Is that gonna happen?
That
No.
is just the biggest joke. I can't believe people, and I've heard people challenging Steve Kerr, the Golden State coach, about this. He can't coach these guys to win a game 3 to save his life. Are you kidding me? He coached these guys to a national championship, and he coached them to the greatest regular season record in the history of the NBA. And you're going to say, oh, but he can't win a game 3. That's what you're going to tell me?
No, that's crazy.
Shut up.
No, that's absolutely
That's crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Fair.
Cleveland sucks. They have LeBron. That's it. You know what? The entire city of Cleveland's economy is based off of LeBron James, and unfortunately, I mean, you can think about
all
it.
them tax sales. All them tax sales.
You can go there. Man. You can go there and buy a house for the price of a VCR. I mean, seriously. I mean, this place it's Cleveland. I'm sorry. I mean, Ohio sports is just other than college, it's just going down the tubes, man. They're never going to get a professional championship. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. I mean, maybe there'll be some strange turnaround in the next 20 years or something like that, but I just don't see it happening anytime soon. This title belongs to Golden State. That's where it's at. And I'm done talking about this.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
I mean, that's what
if Drew Carey couldn't bring Cleveland around here,
Cleveland. He had a whole song, man. Cleveland rocks.
He did.
Oh man,
Doesn't rock so much.
Now he's Price is Right
with no glasses.
That's what his legacy.
Yeah,
so this next story comes from Fox News. You guys remember that CHEWBACCA mom, the mom that put on the mask and laughed and it went viral and
won America's heart.
Yeah, she won America's heart.
She was adorable.
You know, to completely honest,
she was adorable.
I'm going to be that guy. I didn't think he was that hilarious.
It wasn't. I'm with you. I'm with you on it. I'm with you.
Sitting there like, I don't know. I don't know about it.
I'm with you.
Anyways, Fox News comes back with a story and says,
break that ice from your heart, dude. Break that ice. Dang.
A Florida university announced Monday that it has offered scholarships to the woman who made viral Facebook video showing her laughing hysterically as she tries on a CHEWBACCA mask. Southeastern University said that its president presented Candace Payne and her entire family, not just her, but her entire family, a full tuition scholarships. President Dr. Kent Ingalls said Payne, a Texas native, inspired the university with joy, as she expressed on her video. Ingalls said that the school wanted her family to experience some of that joy in return. Over 90% of our students receive institutional aid. We have had the privilege to increase the aid from $6 million to $25 million this year. And if we can help her in any way, we want to do that. What? So this lady gets on. I'm telling you, this lady gets on Facebook. She makes a video of her laughing and having a good time, putting on a CHEWBACCA mask, and her entire family gets a full fucking ride. Use my language, but are you serious? We'll beep it out.
Honestly, this is more of a promo for the companies making that than it is about her. It's not about her. She's a pawn in the PR world.
It's a PR stunt.
The silly video went somewhat viral, which I'm getting really tired of that went viral term, but I'm just a curmudgeon-y old man who's tired of everything hip. But
Okay,
you know,
we have some facts. We have some facts from our friend in the
oh
chat
yeah, the
room,
chat
Mr.
folks.
Chris.
The chat, no,
In my day, the virals when you got sick.
Tim is saying that Candace Payne is his spirit animal, and he hashtag leave Britney alone. And I may not agree with him, but that is hilarious.
That is.
But
Our friend Chris has some facts in the chat room. He says, what
It's
did he
that
say?
mascara running down, y'all.
yeah. Chris said that she received $420,000 in free stuff since that video hit. What?
Wow. And not only that, but apparently her video has received 155 million views and more than 3 million shares, making it the most watched Facebook live stream ever.
Yeah, and it's totally turned into a race war on like white privilege, white people
First
get everything
Wookiees.
kind of deal on the liberal side.
Wookiees get nothing out
Yeah.
of this deal.
Wookiees get shit.
She rips off a Wookiee's face and puts it on her face, and she's getting
Yeah,
scholarships
yeah.
with her kids.
Yeah,
That's
and they're
messed up.
basically so in this one Blaze, which the Blaze, take that for what it's worth, but they retweeted a couple of things or posted some tweets, and a couple of them say something along the lines of "white mediocrity is so tiresome," or "white mediocrity
come
on the
on.
internet rules."
All right, I got some more facts about this that you guys may not have heard. I've got some inside information, but apparently there was no gang violence for the entire day that the Chewbacca mom video
Are you
first
serious?
aired and had
No
all
way.
the views.
No
In the
way.
entire country.
None. No gun violence
That's
whatsoever.
totally irrelevant.
Everybody
That's irrelevant.
Everybody
That was
just
a
got
fluke.
along.
That's a fluke. That was irrelevant. That's it.
That's
No.
also totally
Yeah,
made
yeah, I
up.
was gonna say.
Exactly. Exactly.
You can trend anything. You could be like during the time that the soccer mom that did the Chewbacca mask, there was also no sales of Slim Jims in her state that day.
Okay, shout
is true, though.
out to our executive producer in the chat room, Mr. Chris Leonard. He shows us some more facts about this that are actual facts. All right, listen to this.
From the Blaze.
All totaled,
Right.
Payne, which is our friend with the Chewbacca mask, has received nearly $420,000 in travel and merchandise. Here's how Time breaks it down. Gifts from Kohl's, $3,000.
Cheap.
Travel, talk show visits, $7,500 to Walt Disney World vacation, $7,500 to Fan Expo Dallas, VIP treatment, $2,000, college scholarships, $400,000. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. This lady is racking it up, all because she put on a mask and laughed a little. I mean, is this fair? There are starving children sleeping on the streets tonight as we record.
We can't
this
really.
podcast.
I mean, there's starving children on the streets, and we're eating 7 pounds of Five Guys. I mean, we can't really say that.
No.
Here's my question. I'm wondering, I mean, we're trashing on people giving money to her, but here's what I'm wondering. Let's say you owned Kohl's,
Sure.
Yeah.
right? Or let's say we have a Talk It Out store, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And some lady makes a video. She's like, I got this from the Talk It Out store. And then in 48 hours, 26 million people watch this thing. And now suddenly we're all over the internet. What would we do?
Right.
What's
So
the give her
you're saying
appropriate
it's their,
response with no remorse.
yeah. So you're saying it's their responsibility to give credit where credit is due, and help that lady out.
And then if you're a different business and you're thinking, this may be an opportunity to try. I mean, your whole purpose as a business is to make money. So if this is an opportunity for you to do that,
Yeah.
are you saying it's wrong to do that?
I think we forgot to add that Mr. Justin Hartford, our co-host here, who was just speaking, is you have a degree in marketing, right?
I have, education and marketing. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, exactly. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, he has an interesting point.
No, it's a good point.
But I mean, that doesn't mean
It's just
anyone.
it's not the
that
right
doesn't mean
point.
Well, it's a point, but it doesn't mean people have to see it from that perspective. I mean, but especially in the society where more and more young folks are PO'd about the cost of tuition, right? So they're gonna easily.
That's my problem with it. That's my problem with it because I could to be
Well, it's
honest.
not even tuition. I'm gonna go a little sidetrack.
Okay.
Tuition isn't the cost of college. The cost of college is everything else related to college, which is living there, You know what I mean? Is all of those expenses are the tuition cost. If you just paid tuition and everything else was provided for you, or you stayed at home, that's a small cost compared to the rest of it. But I mean, yeah, go ahead, Tyler.
Sure.
You're right.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, my issue with it. I'm middle of the road on this whole college deal. I mean, I really am. I feel like we should pay for some of it. I feel like right now it's super overinflated, but that's just my personal opinion. But anyways, going back to this, that was probably not the best thing they could have done. I mean, give them all full ride scholarships when we have all this political turmoil in the United States. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Man, companies are going to do what they're going to do. And like, I don't know. Obviously you can't blame Chewbacca mom, right? I mean,
no, it's not her fault.
All she did was get on her phone and thought this thing was funny. And it was. I mean, she had a great time with it. I love the fact that she found it so hilarious. I wish I could find so much joy as she did in one Chewbacca mask. But what she got out of it was probably not anywhere freaking near what she expected, right? Like, she did not probably expect all those views. She probably didn't expect half the stuff, 10% of the stuff of what she's received. But, if it were me, if I threw on a Chewbacca mask, dude, I'm going to ride that ship all the way. So whatever you want to give me, dude,
one of the
things
that was mentioned in the chat by Mainfly here, I don't remember his real name.
It's Micah.
Micah. He says the problem is the government is going after loans and not college costs, which is an interesting thing, right? Because the government is the federal government able to go after the cost of the state universities, right? It's their state. So that's an interesting piece. And so, the college cost piece, is very high, right? The rent's too damn high. The college is too high, but I think the government should go after loans as well. Not what I mean by going after loans, like pursuing them, but they should go after loans and fix the interest rates that are destroying people. Yeah, and he's right. Federal dollars go to the state schools. Correct. What they could do is stop giving them money, I suppose. But if that happens, I mean, look at what's happening in the North Carolina situation, where they said, well, they threatened that they would stop giving money to schools. I mean, that opens a whole can of worms. Like, if the U.S. government doesn't give money to schools, or federal, let's say, not to colleges, then the state will say, okay, well, we're not going to give you your federal income tax that comes from the colleges, which is a large amount of money. So that sort of compromise needs to happen. And I would say I would love to see more colleges go private so that they can compete on that level, and then people can choose without having to worry about the state school funding.
Which, and I'm jumping ship here for just a second, but I just saw this today and I had to share it. And I don't know if you guys saw, but did you guys see that John Oliver episode where he forgives $15 million?
Yeah, that was great. And I want one more thing. Tim, who's Timmy Boy, said so the kids were offered a scholarship and they're young, and he has a good point. Like, that doesn't guarantee she'll take the scholarship, because they might not even want to go to school, and you may not want to force the child into school.
Right.
So it's basically the circumstances may not work out the way it seems. So that's an interesting point. With all of that, I think. I mean, that's a different topic, kind of. But let's just remember, like, there wasn't cash money given to the people to go to school. Right.
That's true.
I wonder if that's the school's plan. They want to go in the books as the school that offered the money, but then they don't have to pay out because the kids, may change their mind in the future.
Yeah, well, right, and that's the marketing angle, or the PR angle, right? Check us out. But there's all these things.
Bunch of swag and the full ride scholarship and the whole 9 yards
and a poster in the student union building.
Because you have to understand, and it seems fairly obvious, but I guess some people don't realize this. Even with a full ride scholarship, you still have to pay when you get there, because you're paying for the cost of living there, and you're paying for all that other stuff. And the university is still going to gain capital from you just being there, because
it's also that was from a private Christian liberal arts school that gave them the scholarships. It's not like the state of Florida, you know what I mean, or University of Florida, whatever. It's it's not a state school that gave them that. So in my opinion, they do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anything else to add on this one?
I think we beat
No,
that one
I mean,
up.
we definitely beat it up. And well,
We talked it out.
Yeah, it was that we talked that out. We talked it way out. And it is dead.
It's dead. We're moving on. We're moving on to our next part of the show, which is our favorite part of the show, where we get to really, really talk it out. But this time, instead of talking it out what y'all sent to us to talk out, we're going to talk out what we want to talk out. You know what I mean?
Talk it way out.
Yo.
Talk it way out. So, as we mentioned before, you should send us things to talk it out, because in that first section of the show where we do the round it out and then we talk about one of those for an extended period of time, one of those topics, you guys decide what we talk out. So you have to send it to us. Okay. That's www.talkitoutpod.net. All right. And you can tweet us at Talk It Out Pod. And of course, hit us up on our Facebook, Talk It Out Pod. Send us your feedback. Send us your talking points, and we'll talk it out. So this part of the show, though, we get to talk about whatever the heck we want to talk it out, because it's our show, and when we do whatever the heck we want to do on our own show. So moving on, Mr. Bruce, you're up first. What do you got for us today? What do you got for us today?
You have to bear with me because this is a really lewd story.
Uh-oh. If there are any children, a little disclaimer: if there are any children listening to this at this point, please leave the room.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been on the fitness kick, right? Trying to lose weight, watching a lot of fitness videos, like on YouTube. Like I watch a lot of YouTube during the day, like to break up the day. And I've been all about the fitness stuff lately.
Does it make you more productive?
I love YouTube.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, it definitely helps me keep my mind on the fitness, which is for sure.
Yeah.
And so there's this article. And there's it's sort of two or threefold. There's a woman in the UK, and her name is Jennifer Mulford. She has engaged in an adult breastfeeding relationship. I'm gonna let that sink in.
What?
Adult breastfeeding relationship. So, okay,
Doesn't sound so bad.
Right. So basically, the too long did it read portion of it is she found an ex-boyfriend. They engaged in conversation online. They found each other through some other website. They both are into boobs. She wants someone to breastfeed. He wants to breastfeed. But here's the tip: he is a bodybuilder and sees the nutritional benefit. The nutritional, so he gets like twofold. He gets the fondle, boobies, and also get the nutrition. And she is cool with it. But here's the interesting piece: she has not had children in 20 years.
Whoa.
That's
What?
possible.
So
possible.
this is the interesting. So it's basically like she's taking.
Do we have any
She's
doctors in
taking
the chat
some
room right now?
supplements, and basically what happens is while doing this sort of motion that he does, it takes time and it's sore apparently, but eventually people they will think you're breastfeeding your body as a woman will.
Yeah.
And so
Yep,
now they're
yep.
both benefiting from this in the symbiotic relationship. And she claims that
Oh,
claims that they never have felt closer to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love our chat room. Got milk?
what is the opinion on this? I mean, like, I understand there's nutritional benefits, but man, I don't, this borderline fetish at this point, in my opinion.
All right, I'm going to bust some chops right now. I'm not going to give names. I'm not going to give too many details, but I do have a family member who, when he was thirsty in the middle of the night, didn't want to have to go to the sink, when his wife was breastfeeding, he would just take a nip and go back to bed.
Oh man!
You said this is a family member.
Wow.
Josh, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, Josh.
Family member.
If you want to,
Family member. Distant
someone I know.
relative.
Josh,
That is
listen.
I have a friend.
If you need to
I have
talk
a friend.
about, if you need to talk about some things, oh man, if you need to talk about some things, Josh, we're here for you.
I mean, I'm a little torn on it. I mean, I don't think I would have the guts to do this, but I mean, there's in a world where people can't get food always, is it really that bad? Or I mean, let's think. I mean, I know that some of the mom blogs and mom groups that my wife is a part of, they would talk about this endlessly, and some people would be like, "That's cannibalism." Some people would say, "Oh no, it's no." I'm have you seen these things? I'm dead serious.
Cannibalism.
No.
It's the opposite of cannibalism.
And then other people be like, "No, it's intimate. No, it's great." I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think.
I guess the question is,
I don't know if I think it's gross though. I don't know how icky it actually is.
I guess the question is, does the female get a sexual pleasure out of it?
Yeah. In this case,
why are we
he does.
In this case, yes. Okay. So my point is like I don't want to turn it into a sexual thing if it's not a sexual thing.
Right.
I mean, some people if they just enjoy the taste of breast milk, more power to you, I guess.
I mean, my wife did that when our kid was young, and I smelled the stuff, and that does not sound appetizing.
Did you ever see that Friends episode? They talked about it. They said it tastes like cantaloupe juice.
So
I'm just saying.
Anyway,
Friends,
I basically just thought of it as like, how far would you go to get your gains?
Yeah.
Like talking about gains.
That is true.
As far as you go. Yeah.
So Micah just said that there are far more repellent fetishes.
Well, sure,
which is
there are.
Quite
I feel that
accurate.
way too. I agree.
So true.
Yeah.
This is probably the least damaging. I mean, it's not really hurting anybody, maybe mentally. And here's the other thing: if she was at that age where she was still breastfeeding, I could see that being a little more awkward because you're getting that the sexual part is what keeps getting me about it. Is like you don't want
because
that
then it would filter into the time that she spends with her children. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But if you're 20 years out, I mean, do what you're gonna do, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Anyway, I just thought it was
you got some protein.
I thought it was an interesting article.
That is interesting.
We talked that one out. Roll the music.
No, for sure.
Mr. Josh, what's up, man? What you got for us today?
So I have to bust on Justin real quick on this one because the last time we did this, Justin was all about yo man, I'm a real reporter. I've got me some sources, and then spent the entire time talking about the story and did not announce one single source. Anyway, this comes from NBCnews.com, by the way, just to preface that. So, Pentagon's top affairs official has entered an agreement with prosecutors to keep him out of jail after he was charged with stealing license plate from a neighborhood car, according to court documents. Whitman, 58, who is probably the highest ranked civilian at the Pentagon, has been charged because he lives in a gated community. The nanny that is across the street had special license plates that allowed her to park within that community. There were suspicious notes at this nanny's car stating that the person knew that she was getting those license plates without permission, and that if it continued, he would be calling the homeowners association, and the nanny would get in trouble, but also the homeowner who had the license plates originally would get in trouble as well. Well, then suspiciously, this woman started to lose her license plates. Couldn't figure it out. 2 times she lost her license plates. Couldn't figure it out. They finally put up some hidden cameras, and it showed Mr. 58-year-old Whitman sneaking behind the vehicle, stealing the plates, and driving off for the 3rd time.
Oh, man.
So...
No.
If this isn't just a sign of, I mean, you are a top-rated official at the Pentagon, and you're getting in a neighborhood dispute over somebody parking in the street, which they are legally allowed to park without these permits, by the way. So the fact that she has the permits are null and void. But and he's getting in this freak out tantrum because woman across the street is parking her vehicle in an area that he probably doesn't even. What is it to him? There's nothing about this that is like affecting him except for the fact that they're not supposed to do it. And I'm in this homeowners association. I'm paying the extra money. Therefore, anybody who's not supposed to be here is going to feel my wrath, and I'm stealing their plates. This is.
I'm gonna just take it from his point of view and say it's the principle of the thing.
Do you love your government? Do you love your government, Bruce?
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate on it. It's ridiculous, absolutely insane.
The whole thing.
I would never.
Crazy.
I would never do that to anyone.
But would this even be a news story if he wasn't a top?
Well,
Absolutely not. This stuff happens all the time. My mother-in-law has a neighbor who is constantly calling people out on their crap, and it's just stupid stuff.
So according to Chris in the chat room, the Pentagon official is paying a $1,000 fine and performing 32 hours of community service.
Bam.
He would have never been caught if he wasn't a Pentagon official.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, he may not have been caught. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't have been as high profile of a person, for anyone to care about. But I mean,
exactly.
I'm just going to say first world problems.
Hashtag
white people problems.
See, and here's what's going on in my head is that when I watch movies with these top-rated Pentagon officials, now every time I watch these movies of these badass top-ranked Pentagon officials sneaking behind in their Birkenstock sandals, wearing their black socks, and their bathrobe, sneaking behind the nanny's vehicle to steal her license plate because she's parked where she's not supposed to be. So he thinks.
Jerks.
I want to see The Rock doing that in the next movie.
I'm gonna get them license plates from you, dog.
Oh man. Oh, we talked that one out. I think. I think we talked it out. That was crazy. That was. You know what? Do better next week, Josh.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
All right.
Do better next week, man. That's all I gotta say. That was crazy. That was too much.
What we got from Justin?
Side splitting.
All right. You guys know I like the sports.
Yeah.
And this was something that impacted the sports world in a little way that I thought was very interesting. And it even kind of intersects with a little bit of the tech. So maybe Bruce might have some insight into this as well.
Yeah.
Well, just recently, the NFL Twitter account was hacked.
Oh, I saw this.
I did not see that.
I personally thought this was hilarious. Well, at first it wasn't public that it was hacked. What was public, though, was a tweet from the NFL saying, "We regret to inform our fans that our commissioner, Mr. Roger Goodell, has passed away. He was 57. Hashtag RIP."
Oh.
So then this,
I wish.
there's a few things that right. There's a few things that I thought were interesting about this. One, and maybe Bruce might know a little about this. So did somebody figure out the password to the NFL?
I would say a couple possibilities. Somebody figured out the password, which is silly. Somebody that has access to the
NFL 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Somebody who has password.
Money sign.
Right. Somebody that has access to the account may have left their login.
You guys
open
caught
somewhere. Or like maybe someone used it on some public Wi-Fi that was easily to sniff. That's possible. I would say more likely like somebody left the login somewhere, or they used a pretty nefarious application of sorts, or maybe an application they thought worked well, and it grabbed the credentials from them, like because you can authorize other applications to use your credentials and things like that, and so there could have been a leak that way, more likely, I would say. But you never know. I mean, some of these folks are kind of like not hip on the password management, and they could have just left a Post-it note somewhere, but and if that's the case, then it's probably someone they know.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to only be just a handful of people who have access to the NFL Twitter account, or maybe there's a whole bunch.
There's probably a lot actually, because it's probably a marketing piece and PR piece. So I bet you they pass that around.
Yeah,
The other
my
option
company
is-
has a whole department.
Yeah,
for
whenever
social
this thing
media.
sort of happens, I always get a little concerned that there was like a larger breach somewhere else and no one's talking about it yet. So let's say they use like LastPass or some other password manager to do that, or some other piece of software, and nobody is telling us yet like how that happened, which is why I get concerned. Like when they're not transparent about it like this, and like we found the person, whatever the case may be. A lot of times it's something they don't want people to know because it would hurt a business some other way, you know what I mean, or some interest. So that's how
that could be it. That could be it. Yeah, but it turns out that they let everyone know that everything's okay with a later tweet that he is alive and well, and even Roger Goodell, the funny guy he is, at NFL Commish, tweeted later that he says, "Man, you leave the office for one day to golf with Jim Kelly, and your own network kills you off." #harsh.
I hate that guy.
Dad jokes.
All right, talk that one out. We talked it out.
This is funny. So, Micah in the chat says Roger Goodell lives down the road from him, or next town over, and many local businesses have a "No Goodell" signs on their doors with his face with a line through it, and he's in the Patriots country there, so that makes sense.
Oh, that definitely makes sense.
Also, Micah, go Giants.
Green Bay, all the way.
Big Blue.
Packers.
Big Blue.
Green Bay Packers.
I have to say though, I have to say this even on a sidebar here. Even though I do not like the Packers at all, I would love to like have a beer or hang out with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
He's the coolest, man.
yeah.
Hey, by the way, Colin Cowherd, who is literally crazy,
I saw this.
lost his mind today and went on some rant about how Aaron Rodgers isn't the best and he hates how the NFL is always ranking the Green Bay Packers with the best rosters, and he doesn't understand because, well, where's the championships? Where's the championships? He says, I don't see enough championships. Are you kidding me? The Green Bay Packers, not including Super Bowls, pre-Super Bowls, I might add you, have the most championships in the history of the National Football League.
I thought the
I'm just
Steelers
putting
did.
that out.
I could be wrong.
No. They have the most Super Bowls.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
but before
But
that.
Green Bay, before that, has even more championships. And you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers? He's got 104 career passer rating, 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. What more do you want?
Two MVPs, 1 Super Bowl ring, whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let the NFL do its job. Step out of the way, Colin Cowherd. Jeez.
Yeah,
Just 'cause
you
got a
heard
cool
it here
mic and a-
first, folks. Talk It Out Pod has a beef with Colin Cowherd. Calling him out right
We're
here.
calling him out on Twitter. We are calling him out. Anyways, moving on. It's my turn. Let's talk this one out. So I was watching America's Got Talent, which I don't really watch, but it's one of those things you turn on late at night because there's nothing else on. And, they were doing the audition phase for this new season. And this guy comes out, and he's like this older gentleman, and he says he's an aerospace engineer. And I was like, wow, that's super cool. And not only that, but he was like a Navy pilot. And he gets up there, and they're like, excuse me, what do you do now? And he's like, well, I do karaoke. And they're like, no way, this is going to be great. So it's one of those touching stories. They do the whole background story on him and everything like that. And you're like, oh, this guy's going to be like super good. And then something else happens. This thing happens, and I don't know if Bruce, if you
Yeah,
have
we're
that
gonna play it
audio
right now.
ready
Let's
from-
play
from
the
this video.
Let's play it.
From John.
I'm from Broomfield, Colorado.
And John, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I am 82 years old.
No, you're not. Are you retired now?
Yes, I retired about 15 years ago. That's about the time I started doing karaoke.
Before you retired, what was your job?
The most recent one was aerospace engineering. I was yes, I was blessed to be the program manager for the CoStar instrument that repaired the Hubble Space Telescope.
Nice. In before everyone says science, man.
You go to space?
I was a Navy pilot that was far enough into space.
Wow. After everything you've done, why have you decided to come on the show this year?
Well, this would be probably the high point of my life and my many careers. It's
So without putting words into your mouth, we're sort of more important than the Hubble telescope.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you. All right, John, listen, good luck.
Okay.
So here's the best part.
Yeah. I'm going to set the stage a little bit before we keep going. He is an older gentleman with khakis, pretty high, a tan polo, and bald. And he's got a lot of those, like, what are those called? Those little spots that a lot of elderly people get.
Like skin spots and stuff?
Yeah, the skin spots. Okay, so that's what he looks like.
whatever.
So here we go.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the
Dude, I lost it. I lost it when I saw that. I lost it.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely lost it. So he just goes on. He screams. He's going nuts. He's terrible. Oh, man. So funny.
That is going to be me.
That is
gonna
definitely going to be Josh.
That's the only thing I thought of.
Josh,
I knew it
I
was
used
going
to
be
work
Josh when he was
with
older.
mentally disabled.
It's not going to be
adults.
drowning pool, though. That's for sure.
I was just
What's that, Justin?
mimicking Josh in the future. So I used to work with mentally disabled adults, and I did a lot of things. But now I really like where I am now. And then he's just going to start just jamming.
So he's got a little, he's got a YouTube channel. That guy.
Yeah, shout out to our producer in the chat room, Mr. Chris Leonard. He dropped the link for that, and we'll put that in the show notes too. If you're,
Keeping
I'm
up
going to
on
subscribe to him.
topics,
He's
keeping
only
up.
got 95 subscribers. I'm going to subscribe to him.
oh, he's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a million.
That is awesome.
subscribers.
Is that like the new William Hung? Is that what we're going to say in this situation?
pretty much? Pretty much. There's really not much. There's really not much to talk about it, but I just thought I would share that with you guys because it was just too great. Too great.
I thought
mean,
it was awesome.
I was laughing harder than I've laughed in a long time, and I needed that laugh too.
That's hilarious. I have not
That's better than
anything like that in a long time.
That's better than the parrot that does the drowning pool cover.
I remember that
I
one.
promised we
That was a
wouldn't.
good
I
one,
promised. I promised we wouldn't talk about politics, but it is election night, and just wanted to keep everybody updated. Just wanted to keep everybody updated. You know,
Breaking
this is
news brought to you by the Talk It Out Pod.
Breaking news. That's our breaking news sound.
That's awesome.
That's our breaking news sound. So looks like Hillary Clinton has declared victory over tonight with her side, and of course Donald Trump. So let's come down to Hillary and Trump if anybody's interested.
What do you mean, like the California results are in?
What's that?
The California results are in, basically.
I am just reading off of CNN right now. They're saying.
Well, they've been. So here's the. I'm not a Bernie fan or anything, but here's what's happening. People all day they've been basically preemptively saying Hillary won before the California even came in.
Yeah.
So that's kind of. But I mean, it looks like I just looked it up, and it looks like it has come in, at least for now, and it's 62% Hillary and 36% Sanders. And if you're just counting for no reason, Trump got 77.4% with 600,000 votes in California. Kasich 11.4, Cruz 7.7. And I mean, here's 59,000 people voted for Cruz and 88,000 people voted for Kasich. You know, just because. One of the more alarming things to me is that 601,000 people voted for Trump. So of all, the population of California, right? And then the population of California, which is like 38 million or something, then all of those that are eligible to vote, then all of those that are Republican, registered Republican, and all of those voted for Trump. I don't know. That's just a lot of people, but I guess he's not winning for no reason, obviously. But all I have to say is, woe is us as a nation with these two candidates. Please vote Libertarian, please. I beg of you, people. Or any other third party. I don't even care if it's like the Green Party or Vermin Supreme. Just please, for the love of God, vote for somebody else.
Vote for me.
Yeah, right
Tyler.
in
At
Tyler
Tyler
Herrick.
Herrick.
Yes.
Yeah. Hashtag Tyler Herrick for president.
We're gonna build a wall between Golden State and Cleveland,
and they're gonna pay for it.
If Tyler became president, we would all have free cheese. We would free Packers tickets, and I don't know, and maybe free flights on American Airlines or wherever it is that you've.
Maybe.
I like what Micah just said. He said Trump's doing his best to say the most outlandish things to not get the nomination,
Right.
but he can't seem to lose.
Yeah. All I hear from people.
If you guys remember, I said I thought Trump didn't think himself that he was going to get this far in it, and I don't think he wants to. Yeah. So, Micah, you and me.
Yeah, I it's funny. So last night I stayed at the cigar lounge way longer than I should have, and it was a lot of older folks that I was talking to last night, which is typical because I'm a pretty young dude to smoke cigars. And they were all in on the Trump train, and the only thing they could say was, he says what people are thinking. He's not politically correct, and he's different. It's like, he's not different. He's a moron, and. and everything you're seeing, it's like an act. And even so, just because someone is saying what's on their mind, and not even, first of all, what's on his mind is ridiculous. But second of all, if he says it, he has no filter. He's not diplomatic. Why would you vote that person into the presidency to destroy relations with half of the world and half of the country? Like, we would just be divided. Again, even more so than we already are. Like, there's nothing to unify the country.
He wants to run the United States of America like a company, and it's like,
I don't even know if that's the case. I just know that he's not eloquent. He's very divisive, and if anything, as a country, we need to agree on more than less. If you ask me. Not to say I want to be in lockstep with the Liberal Party, with the Liberal folks,
that's an interesting perspective.
But I want, I'm a pretty big libertarian supporter, and I like the idea of appeasing both sides, because most of the issues the liberals have are social, and most of the issues the Republicans have are financial or constitutionally based. And in my opinion, that will bridge the gap for many people. Why? You know what I mean? People can have their guns. They can have states' rights. They can smoke weed. They can be gay. You know what I mean? All those things. Like, why? What else? I mean, the biggest thing is in the liberal side would be the lack of social programs that they may have, but that's a sacrifice willing to make if you're talking about equality amongst all people. So I don't know. That's my little soapbox for right now.
Yeah, we have some interesting people adding in the chat room right now. We're going back to our friend Micah, who's been awesome during this whole show. You are fantastic. Thanks for joining in with us. And he says it's an interesting position on this. He may be the safest, talking about Trump, because both parties hate him. He'll never be able to get anything past Congress. So what do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, that's likely true. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. And that's one of the things I also have a problem with. Like, people will say, oh, there's executive orders and, the president can do a lot more than we think. I mean, honestly, the president's not a dictator.
Really? Yeah, not really.
He's not a dictator. What he does is not necessarily going to affect us immediately in most ways. And passing legislation, it takes a lot more than just a dude. Right. And because if it did take a dude, then we have a serious problem in our checks and balances, which is the way we were designed initially to not allow that.
Mm-hmm. So that's interesting stuff coming up in the next few months. Well, all we know for sure is that we're going to have a new president, and hopefully she's okay.
Truth, mic drop on that one. Well, I mean, Chris said in Australia, voting is compulsory, and citizens over 18 are fined if they do not vote.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because, like, would you at that point? It's basically like going to the DMV and you're like, I got to get my effing license. I do not care. You know what I mean? And in this country, if that were the case, the media has such an influence over people that it would be whatever the media said that day. I would think, like, you know what I mean? It would just be huge, broad statements that have been thrown out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then people would just vote on that.
Yeah, I wonder how the landscape would be, though, politically, if that were to be the case, in such a polarized population that we have.
It'd be interesting. I mean, there's a large portion of people in the South that are overlooked when it comes to the Republican vote.
Yeah. I mean, clearly Trump is reaching the right people, the people who are prone to go out and vote. I mean, because I literally maybe know one person that's for Trump, maybe. And I have a pretty diverse friend group, or at least...
I think there's a lot of closet Trump folks.
There's a lot of closet Trump folks, for sure. Not me, I'm just saying, but...
Well, and I was going to say, speaking of the DMV, I was at the DMV a couple of years back, and there was a lady next to me filling out her little card, right? And she looks over at me and she goes, "Hey, which party is President Obama?" I was like, "The Democratic Party." And she goes, "Okay, thanks." Checks off her political affiliation. So, speaking back on the what would the landscape look like if we were all if it was necessary we all vote? Well, you pick your favorite celebrity and you say, "Well, what are they?" And then, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what's
I would like to go back to, and this is very unpopular, but I would like to go back to landowners and property owners and people with bank accounts can vote. I mean, but it's unpopular because of the
you want to go back to
that would
just
be
white people voting?
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Like that. But I'm being facetious with that. But what I'm saying is, anyone that pays taxes should vote. Anyone else, I would say probably not. Oh, and looks like Micah just said the same thing.
Yeah.
Only a taxpayer should be able to vote because they have something in that. And that, I mean, that's true. If you haven't paid taxes within the election cycle, I would say you can't vote. But that's pretty unpopular because obviously it's a right that people see it as a right to vote. And especially people that maybe are in a poverty situation that haven't voted, they want to see change in their situation, so they'll vote accordingly to help them.
Yeah.
And that's the catch with that. But hopefully we would have more informed voters if that were their case. But that's I think that's also like wishful thinking maybe in my regard.
I don't know. It's messy.
Probably.
Man. It's messy. Messy world we live in.
Messy. It's getting real messy. Let's go to our chat room here. People are adding in on our
there's
here.
a lot of things. Let's see. They said, what about people that don't pay taxes because maybe they just collect Social Security and then at the pay taxes on this, you get the vote as well, right? I don't know what he said there. It's a typo. But people that like collect Social Security and then they pay taxes on that Social Security, would they vote? I would say yeah, because they're paying taxes.
Yeah.
And then Trump gets a lot of conservative evangelical votes for reasons unknown to me. The hate for Hillary is too real down there. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. People are basically voting, playing chess in that way and playing defense. Like, hey, we don't care who it is. It's not Hillary.
Right.
Yeah.
Politics, man. Talk It Out podcast.
It's inevitable this time of year.
I know. We try to avoid it. We really do. We try to avoid it, but it's almost over, guys. It's almost over.
Yeah, it's an unavoidable thing at this point, and it's also popular. It's also popular news. It's basically popular culture. It's basically no different than the Kardashians at this point, because you're talking about things that are on the news in major print. In all news outlets, like even your tabloids and non-news outlets. I mean, it's everywhere, so it's unavoidable really to discuss it.
Yeah,
I mean, Micah said it's no longer politics; it's entertainment, and I believe that.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you guys say? I say we open up if anyone wants to come on and bring up a topic or have some kind of comment on something that we've said. Let's open up the floor for that, and then one of us can drop out. I can drop out.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds here because I was promised a spot. I wasn't promised a spot, but I was excited about a topic that didn't get brought up. Must have been changed. I missed it.
Which one?
But I just wanted to give a shout out real quick because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie apparently
we cut it out. We cut it out.
Apparently flopped in the box office. Well, here's the deal. Because I promised somebody a shout out, so I'm going to do it now. So here's the deal. I was told by a very reliable source, an 80s baby who watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles her entire life, that this movie was incredible, brought back a lot of the cartoon stuff and also the original movie stuff.
Wow.
And so, Lindsay, I'm giving you a shout out right now and just saying, if you're going to listen to anybody, don't listen to the box office. They don't
I haven't seen the new ones at all, though, because I was just totally mad about the way they made the faces. And the origin story they created in the first movie was totally wrong. So I just was like, I'm not going to see it. Because also Michael Bay, I was like,
Let's look at the stats. We'll take a look at the stats real quick. It got 6.5 on IMDb, 35% on
Rotten Tomatoes,
and 40% on
Metacritic.
It's okay. It has a little bit of it's a barometer basically to start from, but it's definitely not the gospel.
I feel like this is going to be one of those things where it's going to be like something on whatever social media is going to be around 20 years from now, and they're going to be like a movie that failed at the box office, but it's actually pretty great.
Well, yeah.
I feel like it's going to be one of those.
I think it could be that could be a topic of discussion now. That it's such a popular it's a popular movie. You could definitely make that case. But anyway, let's see if we can get somebody in here who wants to talk. Anyone in the chat room?
Yeah, if you guys want to continue any type of looks like the hot topic in the chat room
the politics piece.
It's a politics piece. So if anybody wants to come on and give their viewpoint of politics, you're more than welcome.
Tyler, why don't you drop off because you're coming in with with poor internet signal. So why don't you drop out?
Dropping out. See ya.
Anyone who wants to hop in, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. Or at least let us know in chat. We'll take a quick second to talk about supporting Talk It Out Pod. So our website is talkitoutpod.net, and there we have different options to where you can help out. One of the big ones is we have our Twitter feed right there. So what I mean by help out is you can actually tweet at us, and it goes right there on our website. We are all about stimulating discussion. We're all about talking it out. It is the name, people. Hello. So let's talk about it.
Let's see. Someone Dome Piece 3K.
All right, they can. Let me do my spiel before they come in here.
Oh wait.
So do the hashtag talk this out that goes right to our feed. We would love to talk with you, get some stuff on the show. We'll shout you out for sure. Go to on our website, talkitoutpod.net/support. Go look at the packages we have to support the podcast and join us financially. Hello, new guest.
Dome Piece 3K. What's on you? Give us something off the Dome Piece. Go ahead.
All right. So there's I don't go on Blab a lot. This is probably like the 4th, 5th time I've ever been on here.
Right. What's on your mind?
I've been room hopping, and there seems to be a lot of gay black people in here. Is that the culture on here? I don't understand.
I think you just happen to get an interesting set of coincidences. That's definitely not true. Thank you. Anyone else?
Once again, we take no offense to trolls. We welcome trolls.
Yeah.
But
let's anyone else who wants to join in that may or may not have biases towards gays or black people. Go ahead.
For the listeners at home, we appreciate at DomePiece3K. Hit him up on Twitter if you want to troll him back. So we're all about it.
That was a great one too, because we're 3 white guys,
and then he came up with the I don't know what's going on, man, but all these other channels got some gay people of color in them, man.
I kind of felt like that's where this was going, not that specifically, because that would have been rad if I could have called that one. Hey, you want to talk about gay black people, don't you? I knew it.
I thought it was going to be one of those like, hey man, I got a question. Y'all gay together? Like I thought it was going to be something silly like that.
I had a suspicion. I had a suspicion that we had a troll in our hands just from. I could feel the wheels turning. Yeah, I got something. I've been room hopping.
Well, even before that, I was going to call
follow
it
up with. This is
he jumped it into the room, and then he was
We're
right
gonna.
on the
Chris
call
Leonard is
immediately.
coming in. Chris is one of the producers of the Christian Pig podcast, and I guess this one as well. So, hey, Chris, what's up? What's on your mind?
Yeah, apparently I'm now a producer.
He just hires himself for things. That's the trouble Chris has. Chris is my good friend. He's a producer of the Christian Pigcast and big part of my website, ChristianPIG.com. And he's been a big help today on this episode. What's up, Chris?
So I'm just now hearing about this whole Zika virus thing with the whole Olympics. Have you heard about this? Apparently, like golfers from all around the world are like backing out. All kinds of people backing out. Have you heard much about that? People backing out of the Olympics now.
Yeah. I've definitely heard a lot about it. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the conspiracy side approach a little bit, and it sounds a lot like the Ebola, the way a lot of the media is pushing the stuff like that, and I think it'll blow over in that regard. Also, there's an interesting connection possibly to genetically modified mosquitoes that were released in that area. There's the Zika, quote unquote, Zika outbreak has been in that same area. But in terms of like how real it is or real it is not, I mean, it's still very much like the Ebola scare where it's like there's people reported, but it's not an issue, but it basically is like disease of the week, disease du jour is the way it's kind of being pushed.
I'll have that. I'll have that.
Yeah, apparently, it's affecting ticket sales as well.
Yeah, I imagine it would, and it's also, I mean, maybe it's some sort of interesting conspiracy against Brazil to screw up their economy. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't say I know a ton about it other than those simple little things that I've heard.
I don't know.
So you're telling me that you didn't think of the first thing that came to my mind, that on World War Z, a certain group of people called zombies Zeeks. Maybe that's what this is. Speaking of conspiracies, we got zombies on our hands at the Olympics, people.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming on. We got another one coming in. Michael Kober. Hey, you're on the Talk It Out pod, where we have weather on the 8s and the phrase that pays.
You hear me?
All right, Michael, what's on your mind, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
All right. I don't really have anything on my mind. Really enjoy Ninja Turtles. I'm a Warrior fan, so
Turtles in the Half Shell.
Yeah. So I've actually got this with me right here.
Leonardo.
Yeah. He's actually not my favorite though, but he is the only one that I have.
I'm a Raphael fan.
Okay.
So did you see the new movie?
Me and my friends are gonna go sometime next week. We like to go in the middle of the day when less people are there, so we can kind of talk during the movie and laugh and cut up during it. But yeah, I really do want to see it, and I don't have high expectations for it as far as being in line with the comics and everything. And I don't think you can go in with those expectations. But I'm excited to see some fighting. Excited to see some
turtle power,
some great action. And, and some pizza.
Did the chat room is saying it feels like the turtles are all up on steroids and the new ones look so much different. And for me, that was a huge no-go. I really love the original with Casey and it's very good costumes. This is very CGI and they look like The Rock, but with a turtle shell. And then the origin story was all kind of whacked out with the reboot. So that didn't affect you at all, Michael, with the new movie?
Once again, haven't seen the new one. I did see the first one
before that. Yeah, the one before this. Yeah.
And you can blame Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's definitely his fault. Yeah.
But he actually had a worse idea. Didn't they start it a couple years earlier? And he came out and said that
so it'd be like aliens.
Yeah, and then he got a ton of backlash for it, and he said, "Well, we're going to hold off on this."
Wait, we better.
Yeah, but, then they all the fans said no, and then he was like, "Okay, it's only slightly better now."
Yeah. So
See,
I'll go ahead, man.
I didn't I didn't think this origin story was terrible. I mean, obviously it wasn't the original origin story. I understand that. I get that. I guess I'm not as much of a purist that it bothered me too much. I thought it was cool kind of how they correlated some things. My only issue with the new reboot is Megan Fox. I cannot stand her as an actress, as a person. The whole time she talks, it's
as
just
a
like,
mother, she's
you
just
can't act. Yeah, she's a terrible mother. She's a horrible Catholic. I don't even know if she's Catholic, but she's terrible at it.
Yeah.
No, but she drives me crazy. Like when she's acting, it's just like, okay, you have a hot body. That's why you're here. That's it. And it drives me crazy. And Michael Bay can't even stand her and basically almost kicked her out of Transformers. And now she's back in this movie. It's like, what? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And that's not April O'Neil.
No, it's definitely
at
not.
all.
Thanks, Michael, man, for coming on.
So
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah. Anyone else want to come in, man? You're welcome while we got a few minutes here.
We got Tyler Herrick on. Tyler, what's on your mind, man?
I guess we are going kind of long here. Maybe it's time to wrap it up.
You guys want to wrap it up? We talked enough out on this week's episode. We might be
able to wrap that up, B.
Next week.
You better wrap it up, B.
We might be better wrap it up. So if you're just tuning in, you missed it, you suck. Go back and listen to us on on our podcast. You can hear us on iTunes. We have RSS feed, the whole 9 yards.
You don't have to use iTunes.
Check us
you
out.
Just grab the RSS feed.
You do not have to
any
use
player.
iTunes. You
Any
just
player
go
on
off the
RSS
feed.
feed.
You can put it
on
in any player. Any
talkitoutpod.net.
player you want. Talkitoutpod.net at talkitoutpod on Twitter. Mr. Bruce, you got any cool music for us to fade this one out? Something that's not going to get us in trouble with copyright law?
I'm still going to do the copyright laws, but we'll just do a little bit.
That's all right.
She was the best girl that I ever kissed. I was at to know she was a terrorist.
Talk It Out podcast. Once, usually every other week, but we're going to try to update the frequency to a couple of weeks here, or excuse me, every week. We'll try our best, but just follow us on Twitter. We'll let you know when we're going live. Might be a Monday, might be a Wednesday, might be a Saturday, might be a Tuesday. You never know. So thanks for tuning in. Tyler from Scottsdale, Arizona, where it's freaking hot outside.
Yeah, this is Bruce in Seattle, where it's also hot unseasonably.
This is Justin, also from the Seattle area, where it's very high outside, bro.
Very high.
And Josh from Des Moines, Iowa, in the Midwest, where the weather changes as much as Kim Kardashian changes boyfriends.
Oh, hey, thanks to everybody in the chat room for joining us. Our friend Micah, Chris, Timmy, anybody else that was hanging out. We appreciate you guys. Michael, you guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. Check us out. We will have the audio version of this show up within the next day or so. Whoop, whoop.
Yep. Thanks for joining, guys.
Thanks for joining. Adios.
She might as well do with me. She might as well do with me.